Hello knitting friends. So we are back, if you watched the first video, we are back at almost the end of this top, and in the time between when I started and now I have named the top. It's called Odell. If you look, we're almost done. Look at all that glorious fabric. So I'm here to show you the slip stitch sequence on the other side, because it's slightly different, because if you look here, we've got diagonals running this way, but we also have diagonals running this way. And what I showed you in the first video were actually diagonals running this way. If you see at the front, well, I guess it was facing this way at the time. So anyway, it's different. And actually, if you're watching this according to the pattern directions, you aren't even here yet. You're actually here. You will have encountered this. So if you're already at this point and you haven't watched this video, somehow you did this and you're doing fine. But it was too dark when I was at that point to do a video, but it's the same sequence, same strategy. So we are on row 3 of the slip stitch sequence, and I'm near the end of the row, so that on the purl side, so that I can quickly finish the row and then show you the knit side. And this incorporates what's called a reverse yarn over. I don't know if it's officially called that, but that's what I'm calling it, which is almost just as easy as a regular yarn over. So we're at the beginning of a repeat. There's 2 repeats left, and hopefully you have been keeping pretty loose tension this whole time with your slip stitches, or you're carrying your mohair yarn for your slip stitches. So what we're going to do is slip 1 purlwise, purl 1, slip 1 purlwise, and purl 1. Now, if you remember from the first video, whenever we were on the wrong side or the purl side, we would have to slip 3 stitches back onto the left-hand needle and then pass the 4th stitch over those 3 stitches. But because this is the reverse of the diagonal, when we're on the wrong side or the purl side, we don't have to do that. We're just going to go back to the 4th stitch that's on the right needle and pass this over the first 3 stitches, the ones you just worked. Okay, and then we're gonna do a reverse yarn over, which, so a regular yarn over on the purl side just looks like this, right? And a reverse yarn over is you go under the right hand needle, behind, and then over. So just like that. And then the rest of the repeat is purl 2, and that's your repeat. So we have 1 more repeat. Let's do that again. Slip 1 purlwise, purl 1. This is a little, okay, slip 1 purlwise, purl 1. And then we want to pass the 4th stitch on the right hand needle over the first 3 stitches. Then we do our reverse yarn over, and then we finish with purl 2. And then we're going to finish the rest of the row as according to the pattern directions. I also thought this would be a good opportunity to show you how to start the next row, because you're not carrying the mohair all the way across the row. The way that you start it, I think, would be similar to an Intarsia start, although I've never done Intarsia before, so I don't actually know. But if that's the same, then great. Maybe I know how to do Intarsia. Okay. But it's just basically a way of keeping things nice and smooth so that you're not just creating a big gap here where you're pulling from this direction to that direction. Okay, so now we turn the work, which with this big long piece of fabric can sometimes be a little finicky, but I'm gonna try it. Okay, good enough. enough for now. Let's flip it. Oops. Okay, if you've never tried to knit on video before, you should, and then you can understand the performance anxiety that can happen when one is trying to do this. Okay. All right, so now we're on the knit side or right side. This is row 4. And we're gonna start it. Okay, so now we are about to resume the slip stitch sequence. I find it, I already told you this in the first video, but I find it helpful to hold the main color in my right hand. Okay, so it's gonna look pretty similar to the beginning of the sweater, but again, we're going to be doing the reverse yarn over, and we're going to be doing a little bit extra work to pass the mohair over where it needs to be passed, because now the diagonal is going in a different direction. So knit 1, and then for this mock Intarsia start, or possibly authentic Intarsia start, basically you just want to have the mohair going over your main color, so that it the main color this yarn kind of just traps it, so that you're not creating a big gap here where you're reversing direction of the mohair. Okay, and then so you want to do a reverse yarn over. So a regular yarn over on the knit side is like this, right? And a reverse yarn over is just like this. It's over, under. So you've got your reverse yarn over, and then knit 1, slip 1 purlwise, knit 1, and then you want to slip these 3 stitches back onto your left hand needle and struggle with it if you must. And then you want to pass this 4th stitch on your left hand needle over the first 3 stitches on your right hand needle, and then slip these 3 stitches back onto your right hand needle. Okay, and then you knit 2. Oh, I surpassed the repeat. Okay, then you knit 1, and that is your repeat. And then let's do it again. Okay, knit 1, reverse yarn over, and remember to keep some loose tension there. Knit 1, slip 1 purlwise, knit 1, and then slip 3 stitches onto your left hand needle, pass the 4th stitch over the first 3 stitches that you just slipped, and then slip these 3 back onto the right hand needle, and then I keep screwing up. Knit 1. That is the end of your repeat. All right. Good luck.